How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having an excellent day. Today we're going to take a look at how I was able to get a very easy 24,000 in this last capital raid weekend. So let's take a look at how, if you're in a scrap for time and you're not able to plan a whole lot, how you can take out a few bases very quickly and get a decent score for your clan. So here we are attacking the Wizard Valley. It's key to the strategy that you attack bases that are over 8,000 loot available. That way, if you are able to two-shot 3 separate bases, then you can walk away with somewhere around 24 to 25,000, depending on how many bonus troops you get left at the end. So here, the best way, in my opinion, where you don't have to plan too much if you're familiar with the strategy, is the Graveyard Super Wizard Spam strategy. Here we're just deploying the graveyards over the splash damaging defenses. We also can place them in front of our troops so they get some additional tanking. And the idea is to have the Super Wizards last as long as possible, deal as much damage as possible, to hopefully clear a good portion of the base. Now the Wizard Valley is a little bit different, because sometimes you don't quite clear too much on the first attack. So sometimes you want to swap to air, and sometimes you want to stick with ground. It really depends if you're able to get to the air bombs. So in this case, on the first attack, we did not get either of the air bombs. So we're just going to go in with a ground attack, clean up the base. A lot of times if you have both of the giant cannons, sometimes on the standard layout they are in the back over here very close together. So then it's sometimes more advantageous to use an air attack so you don't have to deal with the splash damage, which is nice. Especially if you've taken out an air bombs or two. But yeah, here we just are making sure that we're dropping one ram in front of the Super Wizards. The Giants are a little bit slower than the Super Wizards, so you just want to make sure that they don't get too far out in front, otherwise they'll get directly targeted by the defenses, and then you'll have practically no damage to take out the base. Yes, sometimes the Giants and the Skeletons can do it on their own, but the power really comes from the Super Wizards having so many things distract for them that they can just mow through the base. So we're able to walk away with a bonus of 112. So now we're going to jump right into the Golem Quarry. Another fun one in my opinion. This one's a little bit lower, only 7,750, but I figured that with the extra bonus gold, and if we attack a Balloon Lagoon, which is usually over 8,000 for the last base, then we should average over 24,000. With the Golem Quarry, I always recommend attacking from the right-hand side of the base. It's very rare that all the enemy defenses are in this top right quadrant. A lot of times they're in this left-hand side. But really with the Golem Quarry, all you're doing for the graveyard spam strategy is dropping one of the graveyards over each of the key defenses. And that, not that you will likely take them out on the first attack, but you'll have those skeletons doing a lot of chip damage and distracting, so that eventually, perhaps on the second attack, they will go down. Here we get lucky where the rocket artillery goes down. The one on the far side of the base is about half health. And the blast bow is still pretty healthy, but we've set up the base nicely. The goal is always to get around 35 to 45%, and at least one, ideally two of the key defenses taken out. So here we're just dropping over the multi-mortars, because those actually do deal quite a bit of damage on the skeletons. You know, if they have a shield, it'll knock the shield off, and then one more hit and all the skeletons die. And I think after it's like 3 or 4 full sets of the multi-mortar, the super wizards will also die, which is unfortunate. But here we're just trying to go from the right side of the base to the left side. It's nice that the skeletons were able to take out the rocket artillery on the left hand side, so it makes for a very easy cleanup. You don't want to bunch up all your troops together, just in case they hit a lot of bombs or a lot of splash damage hits them. So we did drop a couple down south, a couple of the super wizards down south. So now is nothing but cleanup. So we can move on to the last base, which is the Balloon Lagoon. Balloon Lagoons can be a little bit tricky, because there usually are 3 rocket artilleries. But as long as you have a good plan for them, it's not too bad. The only time this base gets tricky is when the first attack kind of fails, where you might only get 20, maybe 30%, and you don't take out any of the rocket artilleries. That leads for a very scary, very bad second attack. So just some advice for you. Here it all really depends on the positioning of the rocket artilleries. So yes, we're using the graveyard spam strategy once again, but depending on the configuration of the rocket artilleries, where they're located in the base, will determine how we approach the base. So here we saw that the sort of the middle rocket artillery, as well as the top rocket artillery, did not have a lot of single target or splash damage coverage protecting it. So that allowed us to attack from the southern side of the base to try and take out this one that is on the right hand side. So even though we only got 30%, we did take out 2 of the rocket artilleries, and we almost took out this third one. So now on the cleanup attack for Balloon Lagoon, you just want to make sure that there aren't too many bomb towers on the back end behind walls. And you also want to try and split up your troops if possible. So here I know that we're going to have enough to get through the base. I just want to start to pull in some skeletons from the back end, so we drop that graveyard on the edge there. Here we drop about 4 giants on each side, as well as 5 super wizards behind them. And then we always try to hold on to a couple of the super wizards just to make sure that they're behind the giants. A lot of times the giants will sort of peel off in a different direction, and we'll leave the wizards exposed. Like this giant, or this multi-cannon was targeting the super wizard, so I deployed a couple more so they could quickly take out the defense, so that all of them don't get sniped very easily. So that is how I was able to clean up and completely destroy these 3 different bases. A little bit different, but that is how I was able to do it and even get an extra 113 bonus gold. So let me know if these videos on attacks were helpful for you. If they were, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the like button. And there should be a couple more videos on the screen if you want to check them out. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.